All right, g'day troopers, James Bartolo here, aka the bootcamp guy, aka the torturer. Okay, so what I want to talk about today is origin and insertion points of a muscle. Okay, so who here actually knows what an origin and insertion point is? Stick your hands up. No one's sticking their hands up, so no one knows. I only learned this myself very recently. Okay, so all muscles have origin and insertion points. So an origin point is the point, okay, let's use the pectoral as an example. The origin point of the pec is along the sternum and part of the rib cage here. Okay, so that's where it's planted onto the bone. And the insertion point goes up along here and attaches somewhere on the head of the humerus, around here, okay? And what that does basically for a muscle to work, say you're doing a bench press and you're trying to build up your pecs, all you're trying to do and think about is bring the insertion point closer towards the origin. So that's how the muscle actually works. So the insertion point pulls, and because the muscle has its origin point attached to the sternum and attached to the rib cage, it's ground in place there, and the insertion point moves and contracts and brings it closer to the origin. So if you're trying to build up any specific muscle, okay, just think about that. Where is the origin point? Where is the insertion point? Let's go to the bicep, all right? If you're trying to work your biceps, well then if you pick up a dumbbell and you start doing this, well that's not really bringing the origin point closer to the insertion. You want to think, okay, I've got to lock that in. Origin is up the top here, somewhere around the top of the head of the humerus, all along these bones at the top here, fancy names, and the insertion point goes down and attaches on the radix and the ulnar somewhere down here. So what you're thinking about is curling, bringing that point closer to this point. Insertion point closer to origin. And that's going to contract the muscle, and that's what's going to help you build and grow that muscle, okay? So say for instance doing a bicep curl and my shoulder starts to pick up. Well, that's a different muscle coming into play now. That's the anterior deltoid. That's not getting insertion to origin point any closer. That's just using a completely different muscle. So that's the point of this lesson here. When you want to grow a particular muscle, and when you're trying to exercise at all, think insertion point towards origin. Okay, so origin is the point that's cemented onto the bone. Insertion point, it's still connected to the bone, but it's the point that moves closer to the origin point. All right? Hope that makes sense. If you've got any questions, just reach out and I'll be happy to help. All right, signing out. See you later, guys.